everybody, it's me, Solo. Kara's getting ready for work. It's morning time. I am on here to let you know that we were going to be playing another flashback video, not because we didn't record, because we did record. Unfortunately, we were talking to ourselves because it didn't record at all. So I have 45 minutes of footage that is no longer for some reason. So imagine my annoyance when I went to go and edit and there was nothing there. So sorry about this, but this is an episode that we actually do like. So hopefully you guys can enjoy this. So as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy our content. All right, guys, bye. Hi everybody, so today we want to talk about do women really want a good man, or is it all talk? I went out with somebody, it was a few years ago, and so we dated for a little while. He was one of those people that was always late, always showing up. and always showing up very late, and I would not say anything. At first I was not saying anything about it, right? But he would show up late, confidently late. It's like he's almost as if he did it on purpose. And so one day I just decided to ask him, why are you like this? Because he was kind of like a I don't say a roughneck, but he was kind of edgy, I guess you can say. And I was like, why do you do this? Why are you like this? I don't understand that. His answer to that, I still can't believe. So his answer to this was, because girls like it, women like it. And I said, what? What? I said, what? And he said, because women like it. I said, what world do you think that women like when you're being I don't know, kind of like that, kind of rude. Sometimes being late and, showing up whenever you want to is kind of rude. And he said, no, he said, women like you more when you treat them not so great. When you treat them not so great. Wow. I guess the honesty of it was, I was intrigued because he was being honest, but I'm like, why do you think that? And he said, because in the past, he always was the good guy. He used to treat women great all the time and showing up, 5-10 minutes early. Perfect, right? He's like, and women always stepped all over him when he did that. And he's like, it wasn't until he switched over, I don't know where he got the idea to do that, where he switched over to being a little bit more, not like evil to women, but definitely a little harsh, right? Is when he, women started to like him more. That he, this guy actually does get a lot of women. I'm gonna say he does get a lot of women, so he's not really lying about that. Right. So I guess now the question really is, why are we picking these men? What?
Well, I have to say that I agree with him, because I used to date men like that.
Yeah.
I dated, most of the men I dated were awful to me. You know what I mean? And it was because there is a part of you is attracted to someone who challenges you in that area.
But you think challenging? So the word challenging is different from rude, right?
Well, because if you're a woman that's got low self-esteem, or that doesn't know her worth,
right,
at all,
then
those men, you will find you will become attracted to them.
Yes,
and you will really be attracted to them. It's not like an act. You really actually like them, and it's just because you don't know what it's like to be treated well.
Oh, okay. So I guess what you're saying. So
I agree with him. I think that there are a lot of women that will say that they want a good man, but will end up with a guy who treats them way less than that because they have a connection with pain.
Yeah. True. And I actually, so I've dated the good guy before, the nice guy, the sweet guy before. And I will say that, and maybe it's when back then though, I was not secure with myself at all. Like I didn't have a lot of self-worth, self-esteem. So I kind of just allowed, you know, guys to treat me a certain way. But I will say that I did not treat the good guy good when he was being good. So that has to be some truth to what you're saying. There's something about when you're not, when the part of you is not healed, you'll open the floodgates for these toxic men to come into your life, and you know, then that's when the bad guys come in. So I don't know. I feel like it kind of piggybacks off our last video. We talked about you know. It's just an example of healing your relationship with your father, because
and whatever that is, like
yeah,
your father,
or whatever.
you can literally have a father in your house that treats your mother bad, or you can see a father just doesn't, you know, ignores you all the time.
Yeah.
And then you will date someone who you're just used to seeing it. Like if you're used to seeing a man who's just there, you're not used to a man who's going to buy you flowers and treat you well. So when that guy does do a guy does do something like that, then you start to think, you know, you start to think that they're like lame.
Yeah. And
like, you know what I mean? It's not as attractive as somebody who makes you wait.
Yeah.
And puts you on hold and cheats on you. And for some reason, you're just in this like cycle.
Yeah, because you know that guy, because the guy that I'm referring to that I dated, he said this guy's a pretty brutally honest guy, but he said to me, he goes, well, you waited.
He's right. You did.
I did. He said, see? He said, you're a nice girl. He's a nice woman. He's like, and I haven't showed up on time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, and I wasn't even able to argue with this guy. I mean, I was not even able to give him an argument because he was 100% right. Like, I literally just kept waiting. And then till one day, the wait was over. I was like, no. He came, remember that? He came really, really late one day. He didn't come at all. And I was all ready and dolled up and ready to do whatever and ready for my big date. And he didn't come at all. So I called him and I was like, oh, you know, where you at? Like, what's going on? He was like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to come.
Yeah. I mean, and there are a lot of women date men like this.
No,
this
but
is, and I also think that a lot of men, they look for women.
Yeah,
like this. They kind of test it out. They want, because they don't know everyone's like that. They try to pull that and test it out on men, on women, that they want to see how much you take.
Right.
And then those are the revolving door type of girls that will allow this man to just come in and out, in and out, in and out. You know, he'll never have to, you know, he'll never have to be different. Yeah. But he'll always say he's different. Right. But he'll never actually have to be it.
So when women, you, when women say, "I'm just attracted to what I'm attracted to,"
yeah, sometimes I think
I like the bad boys. You know, what do you think? Like, what's your feelings on that? Do you think that are they really attracted to the bad boys, or are they just
they're attracted to a behavior? You know what I mean? Not the actual man. They're attracted to the behavior, because if it wasn't that guy, it would be another one. Yeah. So they're mostly attracted to something that they don't realize is inappropriate.
Yeah. It's true.
They're just dating this guy, or many men. They'll date lots of men to do the exact same thing to them all the time. And then they wonder, you know, why am I like 40 and not married? It's just like because you keep dating men who are not marryable. Yeah. So they're not gonna marry you. Yeah. That's not why they're dating you. They're dating you because you're available. Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, okay. So I do think that women confuse strength with pain. They think that if a guy is tough on them, then he'll be tough in general. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's a difference between a man who is like being tough and a man who is just hurtful. Yeah, hurtful. You know, and that I think a lot of women do. That's because, you know, they always say like, this is why men in prison get so many women. Oh yeah, they do. Because there's not a lot of women. Like when women, we talked about this the other day, women prisoners, they don't get like the kind of, like, I've never been to a prison before, but I'm just saying that there was a guy that said that if you go to female prisons, you'll never see any men. You'll never really see men.
Oh, visitors and stuff like that. Yeah, they don't really visit.
Not really. You'll see a lot of women in there because they've done a lot of bad things to men, but you'll never really see men. But if you go to a men's prison, you'll see a ton of women in the waiting rooms waiting for men all the time. There are women who actively seek out prisoners to date.
Yeah, and marry.
You know, while they're in prison. Yeah. So that there's a danger aspect.
Even if they have life in prison. Yeah. Those women were.
There's an aspect to men, you know, that have a bad boy sort of image to them that turns women on, but they don't want to say that. They don't want to say that because they know that's not really right. But this is the reason why a lot of men will do things like be late, or because they know that if they give a woman 100%, a lot of women might take advantage of this, but a lot of men know that if a woman feels like you don't care, you'll work hard to make him care.
Yeah, which is exactly what happened with me and this person. Like I was like, why does he look? What is the problem? And why doesn't he care? And I was trying so hard to get him to care, and then the truth of the matter is that even if he did,
like my last boyfriend was in a motorcycle club, and I liked that. There was a danger, because he's kind of bad. You know what I mean? Like I liked the idea that he was in that club. But my point in saying that is that even with me, there is a certain aspect, you know what I mean, that you kind of like.
The danger.
That you feel that a man who is
well, like you said, you
cutter,
confuse it with strength.
You can confuse it with strength. Now, I didn't confuse it with strength because I broke up with him. I did get over that. You know what I mean? So for me, I didn't confuse it at all. But I did like the bad boy image of it. But his attitude, he did get dumped. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I think that if I wasn't in my right mind, though, I would have stayed in that relationship for much longer, trying to get through to him. You know what I mean?
Which is what we do, though. We always try to get.
And I think a lot of women do this. I think a lot of women try to fix men. And
fixer uppers. I don't
nurturers by nature.
And so I would say that I was a fixer upper. Like whenever I was always wanting to people say change him, and I guess that in essence that is what you're doing, you're trying to do. But in the mind of someone who isn't secure and whole and not happy and looking for validation from men, to me it was just I'm trying to fix him. He'll be better. He'll be better. That's kind of the that's kind of a twisted way of thinking. You don't mean to be thinking this way, but you actually think that you're helping him by picking that person, and that's not,
because deep down you want a guy who's nice to you, but you don't want a guy who doesn't have a backbone,
like a pushover.
No, you don't want that, and that I don't recommend. I think men need to have backbones. You need to have some strength to you.
Well, because that's sensitive guys get the
you're supposed to protect us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Guys that are sensitive. This is always, and sometimes I feel bad for men when this happens, because they'll say sensitive guys are like wusses. They don't really. They're not strong people. So, but I think you can be sensitive and be a man, right? Don't you think you can be sensitive and be a man? Doesn't mean that you're complete. Do you see? Okay, so if you're with a guy who's always crying,
but I don't like that.
All that crying and stuff.
No, because I feel like that's not.
Well, I feel like it's feminine behavior.
It is feminine behavior. I don't cry. I don't cry all the time. But I'm just saying that I don't want some guy that's always crying. I think that women innately they want a man that's like strong. That they can lean on. You know what I mean? And they feel like he has integrity, and they feels like he can stand up to the world, and he'll stand up for you, and he'll be there for you. But I also think that a lot of women confuse that with abuse. Sometimes, and they don't really notice the abuse part until they're in it too long, and then they just are hurt all the time. And they're, you know what I mean, and then they end up dating men like this all the time. These men who just play games. And by the way, a lot of these men will be good to another woman. And then it leaves women thinking, why didn't he do this with me? Why didn't he do this with you? And also you gotta really turn what a good guy is, because I also think people take the two extremes. They think bad boy
there is a middle,
who's just mean to you, and good guys this guy will do anything for you, and there's a middle ground. You know what I mean? I don't think that any woman wants to run over a man.
Right.
But I also don't think that, because I don't like that. I would never want a guy that I can just push around.
Oh no, I want to be challenged.
That's just, no, I could never do that. You know what I mean? But I also think that you want a man who's sensitive to women. And I also I think that's where men get their relationship with their mother. That's why their mother is so important. Because a woman, your mother will help you remember that the sensitivity of women, and being on time, and caring about her, standing up for her, and things like that.
So because I remember you were telling me that sometimes you see things on Facebook. Like,
I mean, a lot of men on Facebook that are sexually rude, and just completely disgusting, really, on Facebook. Literally write the worst things about, just literally just write things that are just really inappropriate for women in general. You know, it's like, it's just X-rated, really, really X-rated.
Yeah.
And, you know, they'll get 150 likes on that post. And if I look at those likes and see who liked it, it's mostly women.
It's a bit of an aspect there that women kind of like the rudeness they like the rudeness. And I just feel
as
like
soon as they date a man like that and he hurts them.
But don't you think that,
you know what I mean? Then they'll be like, oh, there are no good men out there. There are no nothing. It's like, yeah, but this is what I'm saying. We have to be.
But see, I'm going to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
But I still think that women who like that and are constantly going out with men that are like that, there is some part of that woman who is not whole. I think that once a woman switches over to having self-worth and loving who she is, I think that her attraction changes. She can still like a guy who's a little bit of a roughneck maybe, but she will no longer be attracted to men who are like the bad boys. Because I know that I've like my whole who I like now has now completely changed. Like I used to like back in the day like you said, that used to like the ghetto guys and all that, and that's completely changed. I have nothing in common with those men anymore, and I think there's just an aspect of them that I was trying to like that. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't in my right mind. I wasn't secure with who I was, because now that none of that is attractive to me. None of it is attractive.
I also
to me
think
anymore.
that women, like I was saying about when women like men who write posts like that, you know what I mean? I think that there is a certain sense of trying to be a man, trying to be, feeling like if they like, you know what I mean? Like they think if I act,
I'm a guy's girl.
If I act like,
I'm a guy's
like
girl.
if I like a guy,
cool
if I like this post and comment something like laugh out loud or something, then this guy will think I'm cool too.
Those are overly agreeable women. Those are women who
and then
may hate.
Because the fear is thinking like me. Like I love sex, but I like sex between who I'm with.
Yeah.
But I think, but the fear is being called a prude. And feeling like because you like privately sex, you don't want to put it all out there in the world. That women feel like, well, I don't want a guy to think that I'm not sexually adventurous, or that I'm sort of that I'm cookie cutter.
I'll just join his jokes,
right? Even if you're kind of offended, you feel like, well, let me just like it, you know what I mean? Especially if you're kind of attracted to them. So that's what we say. I think it's really interesting what women will say they want. They'll sit there and say they want a good man, and they'll fall for everything but.
Yeah.
And it I think like what you were saying with this guy that you dated, that this is why he thought that way. Yeah. It's because you get more out of someone when you don't treat them that well. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Once you get to a certain point in your life, you do change. Then compatibility too, like a lot of women don't realize they're not. You're trying to be compatible with somebody that is not for you. You just like them because of maybe how they are, who they hang around socially, or But really, the compatibility makes a difference too. I think. I don't know. I think it makes a big difference, and then timing. Right. Like. Compatibility plus timing, that makes
I think women have to ask themselves what they think a good man is. Yeah. Because I think a lot of women think they have an idea of, what a good man is. And I think a good man might be different for every woman. Yeah. But they don't know, because we just loosely say it. I want a good man. But
what does that mean?
But what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean to
because does that mean, do you really want to date someone who is hurtful to you, or do you want to date someone who actually does respect you? And are you okay with that? You really have to. This is why I'd say I really like being single sometimes, because I think that I find out the most about myself when I'm single. But I do think you find out a lot when you're in relationships too. But I think that when you're in a bad relationship, you find out so much more about yourself when you allow yourself to be single after that bad relationship. Right. You start to realize what you deserve. Right. What you want, but you also realize what it is you really put out there to attract that. So you can't just put it all on man. So you have to kind of say, like, what is it that I'm doing? Because was I going along with a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have been going along with, and I attracted this type of man or this personality trait in that man? Yeah. Because like I said, that man could actually be really good to another woman that challenges him. Yeah. Right. That's very true. You know what I mean? Because I think there's a certain challenge we all want in each other. Don't you think? Yeah, I think so. I think that we all I don't think that we want someone, and it's that 80-20 rule. They say that you can only get 80% out of the person that, you know what I mean? Like they said, there's that 82. You get 80% of what you really want out of a person, and you don't get 20%. And I think that 20% is important because I think that's the part where you need to grow.
Yeah.
And you don't want someone who is that, you know, like when you talk about lists, I don't think you want someone who's completely your list because there's no challenge in that.
Yeah.
If you get someone that literally got to write down what he wanted and you got that, I think there would be some sort of boringness to that. You want that's what the 20% is.
Yeah.
I think that you want someone who challenges you a little bit. You don't think you do, but you do. You don't want someone who's like, I'm an introverted person, so I'm probably going to marry someone who's extroverted.
Yeah, it might be better for you.
Now that annoys me now because I think, I love my homebody. Yeah. But maybe there's something in me that needs to be pulled out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, so I have extra.
Someone. And then if I'm dating an extroverted person, there's something in him needs to be grounded and to come down. To earth a little bit. Yeah. So I really do think that that's what people are looking for.
Yeah, compatible doesn't always mean that they're like you. You know what I mean? Compatible. Sometimes people think that they like all the same thing. I mean, having things in common, obviously, that's good. But compatibility really has a lot to do with personality traits. You know what I mean? And how are they going to be able to better you? You know what I mean? Like how are they going to be? Are they going to be able to? Like I'm a person who's in my shell a lot. So whenever I date people who are normally I do date people. I'm sitting thinking about this. The guys that I date are normally very extroverted people, and they kind of get me out of my shell, which is good for me. Which you don't think you're going to need that.
So that's the 20%.
Yeah, it's the 20%. So, yeah, I do agree with that. I like that. Yeah.
But I do think that people I really do think women a lot of times they don't necessarily they don't really go for what they really want. They settle for something. Yeah. You know. Again, I think women are also nurturers, and we always have this fixer upper.
That's what I was saying.
You know, you don't want to. You don't want a guy that you can fix up and you can do this and no. You know, you can be there through the hard times. I believe that. I believe that there is a difference between a man who is going through a hard time and a selfish man. Yeah. A man who is just being completely rude, and this goes back to that whole ride or die sort of thing, which is something I have issues with. Yeah. Because I do, ride or die. Because I do think that ride or die can be very detrimental to you if you don't know what that really means. You know what I mean? There's a difference between like selfish, because a lot of women will date toxic men with the ride or die.
Well, I think that the theory of ride or die is that so it's just that you're just saying that this person is like my ace is gonna always be there and always have my back and always. It's an always. Ride or die just means always going to be doing the things that you want to do in a relationship. You know what I mean? And it's gonna no matter what, this person's got it, right? And while that is the parts of that make a whole lot of sense. What you're saying is that it's the people take this thing to the extreme where they start accepting poor behavior because they're trying to be their ride or die.
I can't remember the rapper. It was a rapper, but there was this meme going around that was saying that he finally married her, and they had a picture of their wedding pictures together. Yeah. And so the meme was that this girl deserved this man because she was there while he was on drugs. She was there while he was cheating on her. He was there when he was broke. He was there. She was there. She was there when he was kind of abusive to her, and she stuck around, so she deserves, because he's famous and rich, she deserves that ring. Right. And I didn't, and men were posting that, and I thought, I don't like that, because no man who really loves you should put you in a position to be cheated on. You can get a disease. He put her in a position that she might cheating on her with multiple women that she. But
labeled her the ride or die.
Right, and labeled her, and I think because women get right, and so this is where I think ride or die gets toxic, because no woman needs to endure abuse, and mental, physical, and emotional abuse just to call herself married. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think a man who really loves you is going to put you in a position to be cheated on, lied to, he was in jail, incarcerated all the time. No, there's a point in time where you have to love yourself so you can find something that's good. A ride or die man is, to me, a man that is working really hard, and he may be going through some hard things, but it's not hard things that are abusive to you. He's just going through a hard thing. You should be with that man.
It's a quick video. It just kind of came to us, and we want to know what your guys' opinion is on this. Do you think that women liking these bad boys is true? I don't know.
Or women, do you think that, are you guilty of this?
Yeah.
Are you guilty of this?
I know I was.
You know what I mean?
I know I was guilty of this. So just let us know. I can see right now that we're losing our light. It's about to rain really, really hard out there. So we're losing a lot of our light. Anyways, but let us know what you guys think. And that's it. Is that all? Mm-hmm. All right. Everybody have a good day. Bye.